Here we go. College football 26 trailer, chat.
There's something in the air.
First off, I caught it. I caught the lights in the sky. I caught the lights in the sky at the beginning. That's pretty fire. It's pretty fire. See cow.
There's something in the air. From Friday nights
Look, there go high school.
to Saturday lights. Chapel Hill to Pasadena. It crackles down our spines. Tradition, tension, roars that remind our rivals
Were they haters?
they're not in Kansas anymore. It's electric. It shocks our nerves and ignites a place where the ground shakes. But our pride doesn't. We're our
Look at Arch. Look at Arch, chat.
coach, scheme, playbook, and character are unlike any other.
I thought he picked that. I thought he picked that off.
There's something in the air.
So it looks like they brought back stadium posts and stripe color outs. I like that.
Builds us up, breaks them down, and gives the stadium a
Hot route confusion. Back.
pulse built on pride.
Tired. Coach handshakes. Chad. This whole Spencer James ass route. This all American ass route. I don't know who number 4 at Penn State is. I'm suing EA. I'm suing EA for defamation of character. They making you look bad, gangy. Did I lose you? Did I? Did I? Did I lose you? He got shook. And then number 6. Exciting. Exciting. But actually, while we're here, let's get an in-depth gameplay, man. I know somebody's playing. All right, bet. We're gonna watch this.
I played College Football 26 early at EA a few days ago, and like last year, there are negatives and positives, so I'm going to talk about everything I experienced. I do think it's important to note, though, I work with EA, but this is not sponsored by them. I just fortunately get to share my experience on things that might not have made the trailers, and I'll be referencing those plus the deep dives to piece together everything I saw. I'd also like to share with you all what an event like this is really like, but I do need to apologize for getting too excited too quick last year with all of the hype. I'd never experienced anything like that before, and this time around I was.
That boy Bordeaux got his buttocks whooped by Edwards. I don't know if y'all watched that game from last year, but he shouldn't be invited out for that first gameplay anymore. He got smacked.
Wasn't as quick to being impressed, so even if the last game was still enjoyable, it needed to take a leap forward. Let's start all the way back when I landed in Orlando last Wednesday. Honestly, I just spent this first day with friends. Then that night we had a dinner with all the creators there, plus the EA staff, but the real college football stuff all came on Thursday. You get there in the morning, you do more talking, you have some great egg and cheese biscuit sandwiches. And then we got to see this display that had a unique college football item for every creator. They based it off of some of your favorite players. So for me, they somehow found the pink.
That shit kind of fire, chat.
But then it was time for them to go on for hours of presentations. What's going to change in College Football 26? They gave each one of us one of these playbooks with some plays in it, but also spots to take note.
They gave him playbooks?
So I can look back on all of my thoughts on things that I wanted to say to you all and just stuff that didn't hit the deep dives or trailers. I think the easiest way to do this is going to be following along with the deep dive they released for College Football.
Hey, college football fans, welcome back to the Campus Huddle. your home for news on EA Sports College Football 26. Before we get started, the entire team wants to start off by saying thank you. Thank you to everyone who enjoyed College Football 25 and turned it into the cultural experience felt around the world. We looked at all of your PTO excuse forms. Today we have a brief overview of the coming game modes, presentation features, gameplay updates, and more. Look for more information to be revealed this summer in our Campus Huddle deep dives as we move toward a worldwide launch on July 10th. July 7th, for those that pre-ordered the game, you feel me? July 7th, for me. Now let's get started with our reveal trailer.
26, and then adding in bits and pieces.
We already watched that. I believe that's the trailer we just watched.
But to start us off, I do have some fun stats on here. Like 60% of Madden Superstar players came over from Road to Glory imports. And then you all, the college football players, you had 480 hours of average playtime on College Football 25. If you can't do the quick math, I'll do it for you. That is 20 days on average that players played this game. So of course we're going to be excited for 26. And we have a brief overview of the upcoming game modes in this article. We're also going to get presentation features, gameplay updates, and more. You all saw some of the stuff in the trailer. You've seen the leaks on Twitter. We can all talk about it here. If you didn't know though, launch is about a month away. It launches on July 10th, July 7th if you get the deluxe edition for early access. And now let's get started with our reveal trailer. We've already watched through this, at least I'm going to assume most of you have. But I just want to play about 15 seconds of this so you all can get a good look at that they might.
This is a trailer we just watched.
Not to mention in this article, but that came out, like dynamic lighting and how good this game looks. From hopping into multiple matchups, I can confirm the game looks better. I will say if you're a Kentucky fan, our intro has not changed one bit, but we did add on a mascot. That's right, Kentucky got their mascot in the game this year. If you noticed on the reveal trailer, there were a couple new mascots there as well, so maybe your team did have them added. And I'm sure the specifics will come on later with that. Take your career from starting from being an aspiring high school recruit, so this refers to Road to Glory. If you didn't somehow know, high school will be in Road to Glory in College Football 26. This is just the basic outline though, nothing too important.
That's what we excited about. Chat, that's what we excited about. We excited for high school. That was like the big thing that was missing from College Football 25. High school, man. So basically, we're excited. Just thinking about what's to come later this summer in EA Sports College Football 26. The playbook will be in your hands. Take your career starting from being an aspiring high school recruit to winning the Heisman Award, or coach your team to the College Football Playoff National Championship with new plays, schools, players, and upgraded abilities. There are more ways than ever to bring glory home.
In here, besides new plays, schools, not FCS schools. I'm pretty sure this is something that I can say. If not, FCS schools aren't in the game, but they did add some new ones in Delaware and Missouri State. I personally don't think it's the end of the world.
We don't care if they add FCS schools or not. Yeah, some people do care, but as long as there's Team Builder, they'll be there. Jackson State will be there with Team Builder, and the rest of the FCS programs.
Although I think you all are going to like what they've been able to do with Team Builder. There's going to be a lot more coming on that in the future. And another one of the new things they've talked about here is upgraded abilities. I can tell you there's a lot of different abilities. There's a lot of new archetypes, which I think this article is about to dive a little bit deeper into, and then I can clarify more on. So we're getting into more in-game screenshots. I personally did not have this animation happen against me. I would have.
That was fire though. That's fire though. That reach for the pylon, fire, but also possibly cheesy. I would say that. Possibly cheesy. I ain't trying to have niggas reaching for the goal line every single time. Like, I kind of want to stop short. I want to be able to stop somebody short, especially on 3rd and 4th down.
If I did. Thankfully, it didn't. I throw a pick before I get near the end zone. But there is a lot of information here, including the 300 real-world coaches I'm so excited to talk about. Again, this is just for Kentucky fans. We might not have Mark Stoops in this game, but we have a motivated Mark Stoops, so he will be there. This is a feature that is a huge deal for us Dynasty guys. It adds more immersion. If you're following where coaches are going in the coaching carousel, now you know. Beforehand, it was just random names, and you couldn't even tell what school they came from. I was completely lost. That is all changed. Now that we have over 300 real-world coaches, which includes coordinators, it can't just be head coaches. That would only be 100.
Suit up for Dan Lanning, compete against Kirby Smart, recruit as are against James Franklin, go toe-to-toe with current coaches who bring distinctive play styles to the field. Strategize like they would with their unique playbooks for more authentic coaching experience. Saying that, I'm hoping that means if Dan Lanning goes from Oregon to Oklahoma, Oklahoma's playbook changes to the style offense or defense that Dan Lanning was running at Oregon. I don't want like I think it's always weird that like a coach switch teams, but like their playbook stays the same. Like the coach doesn't carry that playbook and scheme with them to a new organization. So I'm hoping that happens, especially now that we have real coaches and like they said, unique playbooks and authentic playbooks attached to these coaches. We're hoping to see some differences.
But anyway, that's going to add some immersion for you. Kind of reading this whole part backwards. Not sure why my brain works that way, but that's what I've done. I can't sit here.
That's fine.
And confirm that every single one of them is going to have their true-to-life schemes, but I would like to think that EA would get that correct. They're calling it their most authentic college football experience yet. I think that's a marketing term that they're going to be able to use every year as they make it better. Wouldn't read too much into that, but they're going to start talking about gameplay up here from the top. They want it to be wide open, fast-paced. The gameplay did not change in that aspect. It's not like they made it slower, more realistic. Personally, as a guy that spends a lot of times in the menus, not too much time.
I'm hoping defense better. I'm hoping DBs and coverage is better. The D line was better. I mean, the D line was kind of tough this year, but like DBs was getting cooked. Safeties, linebackers, cooked. So easy to score offensively.
It was hard to notice too many differences. I did see some new animations. There's also the feature, which I think Kurt Benkert talked about on Twitter, where defensive backs no longer just catch balls behind their head like this. They have to actually turn around, and if they don't, they're going to try and swat it or something, only if they can see it. I cannot stress how much of a game changer this is.
I like that. If that's real. I like that. But also, that just means y'all gotta utilize the swat button more. Y'all gotta swat the ball now. Like all of those go routes thrown, and you can just hey, you can go watch your TV. Nah, chat. If all of this is real and factual, I'm all for it, chat. I'm all for it. Especially, look, no eyes, no interception. So that means, right? If I'm playing defense, receiver, right here, and I don't turn around and get eyes on the ball, I can't pick it off. But a swat,
they have to actually turn around, and if they don't, they're going to try and swat it or something, only if they can see it. I cannot stress how much of a game changer.
Now that I don't like. All right, you should be able to swat it without saying. I mean, you can just throw your hands up at least, right? Make that ball a little harder to get in. Put your hands up at least.
That means that if your guy gets a little bit of a boost off of the edge, he's able to outrun him. You're not just going to have these cornerbacks making miraculous plays. They're going to have to actually turn around and see the ball dropping into his hand. I also find it incredible this didn't somehow make its way into their game in the past, but we do have stunts and twists this year. There are also custom zones that you can literally set anywhere on the field. This is going to be a feature that's more useful to online players, but basically if you have something like a cloud flat out there and you want him to drop back 20-25 yards, you can do that on the field. I think the best comparison for it is like how we're able to extend routes on the offensive side of the ball in 25. I used it a couple of times and I thought it was nice, but I'm not sure how much I'd use it against the computer. Their deep dive also goes on to say improved blocking and coverage logic. Now, I can't say much to this. But
all of this sounds real. We're not going to spend too much time. We're gonna skip through some of this stuff. All of this sounds fire right now, chat.
Here, but I can tell you, I was not able to run the ball with Kentucky, but it kind of makes sense. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you all either, because I just can't remember how it went whenever I was dropping back to pass all the time. That's what I normally did. I could say the blocking was better, but I truly don't remember. How this event worked is basically the first few hours you sit through the presentation of all the new features, you have some lunch, and then the next few hours you get to play the game for a bit. And if they're saying they improved the blocking, then we could tend to believe it, but we also know how that goes sometimes. Whenever it comes to coverage logic,
chat, they improved the blocking.
They must have improved this, because I did throw more interceptions than normal. I know it's hard to believe. Anyway, when it comes to gameplay, that was the thing I was most satisfied with in 25. They've done some tweaks, they've added some stuff that makes it a little bit better, but I wasn't going into this looking for the new features, things they had to fix. I also only spent a limited amount of time in Play Now this year. I spent a lot.
I'm gonna skip some of this. What's this?
Field with additional up. Notice that halfback screens were going a little bit. Rotate players in and out on the fly. No pause screen needed.
All right, listen, chat. Wear and tear. It's a problem last year for a lot of people, especially in Road to Glory. in Dynasty. They were having issues with, running backs getting gassed off 10 carries. Hey. No. Running backs getting gassed off of like 10 carries, chat. So, hopefully, they said they fixed it. We're going to see. The advanced wear and tear system delivers more realism and is now fully customizable to fit your playstyle. Manage fatigue strategically and save your favorite playmakers for key moments with dynamic subs that allow you to rotate players in and out on the fly, no pause screen needed. I feel like they have that in other games. I don't feel like that's some new stuff. Chat. That don't feel new to me. I feel like we already had this.
Because dynamic substitutions are on the field. And I guess I should also be able to see that their real-time health status is going to show on that little menu, and there was these two games are going to take all the good things from each other and add them in because we want to have a great football experience here. It just shows
new tackle types and enhance. They say this every single football game, chat. Every game they say the same thing. Oh, new hit stick and tackle animations. The same bullshit. The same bullshit.
shows that these two games could become intertwined. One thing I did pick up on at the line of scrimmage, several new abilities that we can't wait to talk about more in our gameplay deep dive later this season.
I kind of don't like abilities. Personally, I miss Madden when there wasn't ability, or college football, like 14 where there was no abilities. It was just ratings. If you were fast, because your rating was good, not because you had takeoff. You know what I'm saying? If you led the league in sacks, or your sacks were high, you got sacks. You didn't need abilities like Bulldozer to get past the tackle and guard. If you're a quarterback, you were accurate. If your accuracy was high, you didn't need abilities to be accurate. I don't like abilities because to me, like, it starts to make it a little too 2K. I don't want 2K. I want Madden. I want college football. I want football.
Summer, so they're just edging you all. And I guess I'm just going to have to edge you all as well because I can't say anything more until that
edging is so crazy, but him saying that multiple times
releases later. What I can speak on though is home field advantage 2.0. We already talked about how you all the most
already said about that. They're gonna bring that shit back.
PA sounds, including Metallica's in.
Oh yeah. I think we've seen enough, chat. Enough of the college football. Man. We're gonna